everyone, it's Jen here and welcome to Jen's Wild About Art and welcome back to DRAWSOME. So today's DRAWSOME prompt is mask. So for mask I decided I wanted to do a drawing and painting of a Venetian mask. So it's the kind of masks the girls used to wear to balls so that they weren't recognisable. So I start by drawing the outline in my mechanical pencil, and you can see I adjust and readjust the outlines as I go, trying to get the proportions correct. And I start to draw in the pretty florally pattern or paisley pattern on the mask, just in pencil first. I'll go over this with watercolour and then a bit of pen. So you can see now I'm just adding the finer detail, and I start to add a little bit of detail to the hair. I readjust her eyes, and then I start to go in with watercolour. So I use for the skin tone a bit of yellow ochre and red, and I build that up in layers, getting darker as where I want the shadows of the skin to be. Now for her lips I've added a dark red, and I've added some grey to her eyelids because she's got a greyish purpley eyeshadow. And you can see now I'm going slightly thicker tones of the skin tone, again yellow ochre and a little touch of red just to get the darker tones. I add some deep red to her lips and start to build that up in layers. And for her hair, I go in with transparent sienna to give it a reddish undertone, and then I go over it with 3 or 4 different tones of brown. So I'm using burnt umber, a little bit of mahogany, just to build up the layers. And at the end, I'll make a brownish grey just for the very darkest parts of her hair. So you can see I'm starting to build up the reds on her lips. I pop the same red for the dress, the shoulders of her dress. And I add some purpley shadows in around the shadow areas on her face, like her cheeks, around her eyes, around under her nose. And now I pop her eyelashes in, and I'll take a damp brush just around the edges just to soften it so it looks a little bit like soft eyeshadow. And you can see now I'm going in with a little bit of mahogany, and I built up the colours on her hair, and I add a bright yellow, which is actually a gold colour because her mask is a gold colour. So I add light yellow for the first layer, and then I go over it with a bit of a roll-in, and then I add orange to the edges and to the darkest gold areas on the mask. And I take that right around the edges of all the little flowers and the paisley patterns. And I do that until I've completed the rest of the mask. And you can see I've taken that pattern around the front of the mask, do the circle in, add some more lines and a few circles around the bottom at the front. And now I add some more tendrils of hair because I realised I'd forgotten some hair on that side of her face. So I pop that in, and then the big curls down the front, and I start to build up the darkest layers. So this is a fun drawing and watercolour sketch. If you guys and girls would like to join in with Aurora and at Aurora's Art World and we would love it if you would create pieces to go with the prompts. And you can just hashtag DRAWSOMESquad to Instagram, and Aurora and I would love to see what you create with the prompts. I'll have Aurora's channel linked below for you, and I would love it if you would check out what she's created for this piece. So now I go in and I add some stronger colour. So I go in with a warmer orange, and I take that around the edges of her mask, and I start to now go in with my silver marker and my gold marker and add the jewels around the mask. And it adds just a little bit of sparkle, which is really lovely. And then I go in, I've got a bronze ballpoint pen, so I add some bronze around the edges because it's quite a highly decorated mask. And now I go back in and add some final touches and shadows around her face, and we are just about done. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have an awesome day, and I will see you all next video. Okie doke. Bye.